We are gathered here to fill you with fear and give you a treat for your ears as we invade your mind with our scary rhymes and some tales that can be gory. As you bear witness and sit here and listen to our poetic horror stories.
Hello, my name is Father McNair, and I'm a pastor and a detective for the church. I investigate possible possession for the church, if the church deems it so, and if they approve, then I perform an exorcism. My investigation this time is of a little 5-year-old boy that I named Billy to hide his identity. He was living with his foster family, the McCabe, when a dark tragedy took the family's lives. They were burned alive on Billy's 5th birthday. Billy was the only sole survivor. Billy now resides in an orphanage with kids around his age. Despite the tragedy, I've been told that Billy has been well behaved. He has been getting along with the other kids like nothing happened, like the McCabes never existed, which I have to admit is a bit strange. So I made plans to fly out to the orphanage this week to meet Billy. I wanted to speak and evaluate him. I needed clear evidence to offer to the church seniors, to see if I needed to perform an exorcism. But before I left on my trip, I had some strange and weird events happening to me. For instance, the lights in my office would flicker off and on when I was working alone late at night. I also heard random knocks on my door, heavy footsteps walking across the church floor. I heard disembodied voices whispering and calling out my name. I see shadows lingering in the church hallway. I have also smelt sulfur around me, the smell of rotting eggs. One day, when I walked into my office, I stopped in my tracks instantly because the crucifix on my wall was turned upside down, a sign that mocked Jesus. There was also an incident with my car brakes. They went out for a few seconds while I was driving on the highway next to a shipping truck. It scared me half to death. All of this could be pure coincidence, but I feel like there's something trying to attack me spiritually, to chase me away from this case, and speaking to Billy. But I refuse to let it win. Actually, it just made me more determined to meet and speak to Billy. As God was my witness, I was going to speak with Billy McCabe, and not even the devil himself was going to get in my way.
Hello, P.H.S. crew. We have a question for you. What is your favorite possession movie? Let's start a conversation in the comments below. We are dying to know.
I arrived safe and sound off my flight. I arrived in the afternoon, after I checked into my hotel room and unpacked. I took an Uber to Billy's orphanage. When I made it there, I was greeted by Sister Mary, Sister Elizabeth, and Sister Agatha. They are the nuns that run the orphanage. They led me into their office to have a conversation about Billy's behavior. Sister Mary and Sister Agatha, the two older nuns, both agreed that Billy was getting along well with the other kids. But I noticed Sister Elizabeth, the youngest nun, she looked nervous and she didn't say anything. I asked the older sisters if they could leave, so I could speak with Sister Elizabeth by herself. Sister Agatha protested. She suddenly seemed upset. She said,
Father McNair, we don't understand what you're looking for. We told you through the email that everything is good with little Billy. Though what happened to Billy's foster family was sad and tragic, Billy has quickly come to adjust to the orphanage. Why did the church really send you here?
I stared at Sister Agatha with concern to her question. Then I said, "The church wanted me to perform a thorough clinical psychological investigation on Billy's mental psyche. Since he is so young, and the McCabe family was the only family he has ever really known. The church just wants me to make sure he isn't suppressing his emotions. We don't want him to fall into depression. This is a routine to speak with the children when they have family members tragically killed. This is a very sensitive time in their lives, and this is a traumatizing situation. I just have a few evaluation questions I need to ask. When I am done, I will send my report to the church seniors. Then, I will leave."
Okay, but why do you want to speak to Sister Elizabeth by herself? We already answered everything you asked of us.
Well, really she didn't. She just sat here nodding her head. I want to know her thoughts on Billy, if she doesn't mind. But if you deny me, then I will call the senior fathers. I will go over your head and inform them you are impeding my investigation. It's your choice. When they woke the next day, the house was infested with rats, like the Black Plague. But on Billy's 5th birthday with the McCabes, this was the last birthday they all celebrated together. On June 6, 2006, Billy's birth date. I could instantly see I made an enemy. But Sister Mary and Sister Agatha begrudgingly left me with Sister Elizabeth. But I didn't care. I wasn't here to make friends. So I started my questioning of Sister Elizabeth. "Now, Sister Elizabeth, you were looking uncomfortable through the questioning. I feel like you were trying to hide something. It's okay. You can tell me what you really think. Whatever you tell me, I will keep confidential." Sister Elizabeth started to move around nervously. She was sweating and wringing her hands. She then took in a big breath and exhaled. Then she said,
Sister Mary and Sister Agatha were right. When Billy first came here, he was very well behaved, especially for a child who just lost his whole family. He never cried once, or mentioned he missed the McCabes. It's like they never existed. But Billy made friends quickly with the other kids. He fit in. At least for a couple of weeks. Suddenly, strange and weird accidents started happening to the kids. For instance, Ruby, one of the little girls here, was on a swing. Billy really wanted to swing on. When Ruby told Billy to choose another swing, Billy told her she will be sorry. The devil is going to break her left leg. Then he turned and walked away. Suddenly, a few seconds later, Ruby went flying off the swing, and she hit the ground hard. She was rushed to the ER with a broken left leg. This is what Ruby reported to Sister Mary and Sister Agatha. But Sister Agatha didn't report it that way. She told the seniors of the church that Ruby tripped and fell down, and that's how she broke her leg. I don't know why she lied.
I wrote every word down in my report. I asked Sister Elizabeth, "Were there any other incidents?"
Yes. This is an incident I saw myself. After all the kids were tucked into their beds and I turned off the lights, Sister Mary and Sister Agatha turned in for the night. I was left on a late shift, to monitor the children as they slept. We have a camera set up in the rooms to monitor the children. It was about 3 a.m. when I saw a shadow on one of the camera TV screens. I couldn't believe my eyes. What I was seeing at first glance, but it looked like the shadow had horns protruding from its head. And I could have sworn the shadow eyes were glowing red. I watched it walk into Billy's ward. It stopped, and it stood over Billy's bed. Suddenly, Billy sat straight up in his bed. He turned his head towards the shadow, and I could see he was talking to it. Then Billy left his bed and went to each child's bed and whispered something in their ears. All at once, the children sat up and climbed out of their beds, and in a single file line, they started to follow Billy. I was so scared I couldn't move. I was frozen where I stood. I started to pray to God to make my legs move. I walked the path that I last saw Billy and the other children walk down to. When I found them, they were all standing around the gymnasium pool. I could tell that the children were still asleep, but Billy was wide awake. Suddenly, Billy walked behind the children, and one by one, he started to push them in. I ran over and I jumped into the pool to save the children. I was able to pull all the children out of the pool, besides getting wet. Thank God they were all okay. Sister Mary and Sister Agatha ran in. They overheard the commotion. While the sisters attended to the children, I turned towards Billy. I wanted to talk to him, but I instantly stopped in my tracks because Billy was standing there with a big, sinister, evil smile on his face. And Billy's shadow that was cast on the wall was in the shape of the devil. I instantly fell down on my knees and I started to pray. Please, Father McNair, please believe me.
I was left completely speechless. I could see Sister Elizabeth's hand shaking. She looked scared out of her mind. I did my best to calm her down. I knew what my next move was going to be. I needed to speak with the children. Then I would speak with and confront Billy.
This will conclude part 2, The Possession of Billy McCabe. We hope you enjoyed this story. If you did enjoy it, then please like, share, and comment to let us know. And if you're new, please subscribe and become a part of the P.H.S. crew. And since you made it this far, then why don't you click on the iCard? We have many original horror stories and deep dives you will enjoy. We appreciate and thank you all, and we will see you in our next video.